Back to one of our top stories now. Embattled eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede is back in the Durban Specialized Commercial Crimes Court today. Gumede is currently out on 50,000 rand bail after she was arrested on fraud and corruption charges. Her supporters have vowed to take strong action if she is permanently removed from her post. The lead investigator in Gumede's case has survived an alleged assassination attempt. Now, for some analysis on this, ahead of the court appearance, we speak to political analyst Imran Bakkers. Mr. Bakkers, thank you very much for waking up with us this morning. Let's start with the lead investigator here on the case. Leaving his Johannesburg home, he is attacked but has survived. Pure coincidence, or is there something more sinister behind this?
Well, Koli, morning and thanks for having me. Well, this is no surprise. I think we need to realize that in South Africa, politics is very much tied up to control of the public purse, to politics of patronage, to political survival. And I think in societies like ours, post-apartheid, post-colonial societies, there very often is a very thin line between the state sector, the underworld, and the corporate sector. And I think all of this is linked to control of the public purse, to political survival. Remember that it's not only Mayor Zandile Gumede who is affected here. There are at least 64 councillors affected. And therefore she has incredible support. So the balance of forces may in some ways be in her favour. And I think a very large number of councillors, their own livelihood, their own political careers depend on whether or not she survives this fiasco around her.
Let's talk about the indecision by the KZN ANC leadership around Gumede's future. Where's the stumbling block in your view?
There's a huge block of patronage around Zandile Gumede. She enjoys incredible support on the ground. Remember, eThekwini is the largest region in South Africa. This is a province that comes from a history of being embattled, political killings and violence in the early 90s from the forces against democracy. But ironically now the political killings and the violence is intra-party. It comes from within the ANC. And it's all about, again, the politics of patronage. So it might not be prudent for the ANC, the PEC of the ANC, to act decisively against her, because they need to weigh up the political options. With all of the support that she has around her, like I said earlier, it might not be prudent and it might mean political compromises for them and perhaps even a loss of political support, depending on how they manage this fiasco. I think we also need to remember that in some ways what's happening in KZN is a battle for the soul of the ANC. KZN provides large support for the ANC nationally, and what's happening in KZN is really a contestation that needs to be watched closely.
According to media reports, the task team that was investigating this matter around Zandile Gumede, this is the ANC's own task team, has recommended her removal. Now, we know that a big decision is upon us on Sunday. If the Zigalala-led ANC in KwaZulu-Natal deviates from this recommendation, how should it be viewed?
Sorry, Koli, I didn't hear the last part. How should it be?
How should it be viewed? How should people view the Zigalala-led leadership if they deviate from that recommendation to relieve Zandile Gumede of her duties?
Well, I think despite the contestation, one would expect the ANC, being a kind of really principled organization and revolutionary movement now in power, would go by the rules and constitution of the ANC. And I think in large part there's discipline within the organization in terms of following what internal processes dictate. So I think if internal processes dictate that Zandile Gumede be removed, and despite the huge block of support around her, it would mean that they would have to act by the processes of the PSC and have her removed, and have to face the implications that result from her removal. But I think there's also a realization that Zandile is becoming a huge detriment to the progress of the ANC here. People are citizens are just simply unhappy with the level of governance. All that happens in KZN now is a focus on the internal battles, and the city is suffering. I think in terms of delivery, people are exceptionally unhappy with the way things are going, and would expect, beyond the PEC, that just common citizens would expect that Gumede be removed.
Mr. Bakas, just finally and just very briefly for us, if Gumede is indeed removed on Sunday, do you foresee stability in the eThekwini municipality?
Well, I do foresee that there will be a huge reaction from the forces that support her. Like I said many times earlier, she has huge support. So hopefully the ANC will have to hold it together, people will rally together, and they would appeal to the sensibility of the masses and people in branches to respect the decision of the PAC. But I do expect that there would be some instability after the announcement is made.
All right, thank you very much for those insights. That's Imran Bakas. He is a political analyst joining